How y'all doing, ladies and gentlemen? So I'm here today with another reaction. Yes, finally another reaction. It's been quite a while. This time we're here with Kevin O'Leary reacts to living on $1.6 million a year in Los Angeles, which is basically him. He's from Shark. That's where I know him from, Shark Tank, which is basically like the US version of Dragon's Den. And he's basically reacting to a video that happened on this channel, this Millennial Money, CNBC Make It, where Graham Stephan was on it. And Graham Stephan is obviously a quite big YouTuber. I think, like last time when I followed him, when I subscribed to him a long time ago, he was at like 50K, and I think now he's at like 1 million or so. So he's honestly made it, quite big on YouTube. He used to be like I think he still is actually a real estate agent. And then he bought his own properties, started making videos. Now he makes money off YouTube as well as his properties. And he's kind of just like a finance channel. That's kind of what he's become, just a finance channel. Very interesting channel, of course, and very also important. I feel like in this, not just in this climate, but like just important in general for kind of like that generation, my generation, because a lot of people in my generation have no idea how to handle money. So he was on Millennial Money. He was on Millennial Money a while ago, and now there's a reaction to his reaction. And I'm reacting to someone doing a reaction to him who does reactions on Millennial Money, who was on. The rabbit hole goes deep. Anyway, I'm actually quite interested in this. I've been waiting. I wanted to watch it when it came out, but I didn't have the time to react to it. I had the time to like watch it while I was on a train or something, but I really wanted to react to it because so far on this channel, what I've basically done is like the rap battles. I've reacted to those. I've done obviously history videos, and I know a big passion of mine again is finance. When it comes to finance, I feel like because so many people lack the knowledge of what to do with money, how to grow money, how to make money work for you, I feel like it's important that I feel like it's important for me to get a good grasp on fact, which is why I'm not into property at the moment, but I am huge into the stock market. Have been for about 5 years, since I was 19, 18 actually, 6 years. So yeah, I'm quite old. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, let us hop right into this one and see what it has in store for us.
Hi there, Mr. Wonderful here, aka Kevin O'Leary, and today I'm going to have a look at a video I've never watched called Millennial Money, living on $1.6 million a year in Los Angeles.
Yep.
Before you start, smash the like button like I'm doing here. That helps the algorithm. All right, now I'm going to watch this thing.
I will say one thing though, for a millionaire, he's got a terrible green screen. An absolutely, well, not terrible green screen, but like terrible lighting, I guess, which it's one of my big issues as well, that my lighting in my videos is absolutely terrible. But you can actually see the masking is just.
We'll see if I like it or not. I like to tell it like it is.
I always believed that I would be a millionaire, and I think originally my goal was like to try to hit that by 30. Ended up surpassing that by a decent amount.
Yep.
This is the moment. My name is Graham Stephan. I'm 29 years old. I make $1.6 million per year and I live in Los Angeles, California. And welcome to, wait for it, Millennial Money.
One thing you should know about Graham, he's extremely frugal. I'm actually no, I'd say actually I'm more frugal than him, to be honest. But like he's extremely frugal. Like when it comes to like spending money, the only things I spend money on, as you can probably see by the background, is books. That's the main thing. I spend money on books and food. Those are like two things you'll ever see me spend money on. If anything's like above like 50 or 60 pounds, Great British pounds, that's the point where I'm like, ooh, I don't know whether I should. I'm weird like that. Like when it's after like 50 pounds, I'm like, I'm not gonna spend money for that. But like when it's like buying 5 things that are 10 pounds each, I'm like, yeah, no worries, no issue. But like when it's like one big lump sum, I'm like, I'm not sure about that. Which I'm strange like that, but I'm extremely frugal. Like a month I spend maybe, without obviously the essential bills, on just like leisurely things, maybe like £50, which is extremely frugal.
So I'm a full-time real estate agent, real estate investor, and YouTuber.
I just started watching. I thought this guy's going to be a dick. But now as I'm just seeing the first few frames, it sounds like he's for real.
Yep. That's loud. Why does that suddenly just turn so loud all of a sudden?
My mortgage is just over $2,800 a month. The market value of the other unit next to me is about $2,500 a month. Then between the equity I get and the tax write-offs from using the garage as my office, it basically works out to be a free place for me to live.
Okay, that's pretty shrewd. This guy knows what he's doing. He's basically bought 2 properties and he's using the tax code fairly and legally to try and live in his place for free because he's profiting off the amount he's getting on rent after he services the mortgage. Good idea.
So I spend about $200 a month on groceries, and I do price shop between grocery stores. I'll kind of make the rounds and just stock up on whichever item is the cheapest at which store. Every morning I have my same...
Let's have a quick look at this pie. It's been a long time since I watched the original Millennial Money, so I don't know anything. I don't know everything off by heart. I watched it once, and it was when it first released. Now, personally, I can't speak of mortgage. Like I said, I don't own a house yet. I'm actually, well, I was gonna buy one. I'll leave it at that. I was gonna buy one at the start of this year or end of last year. But then I thought to myself that I'd much rather just save the money I currently have, which in hindsight might have been actually might not. Point was, I thought I might save money and then just buy a better property. Larger isn't always better, but a better property. So that was my plan. Just like save another maybe 2-3 years and then buy a property. Then I can always rent out a room or two, you know. But I was like, oh yeah, the stock market is going quite well right now. I'll keep my money in the stock market for now until I need it. Ew. I mean, to be fair, I'm actually positive right now, despite all the things that were happening, and that's primarily because of Microsoft. Thank you, Microsoft. But like, I don't. The point is, I don't have the mortgage thing at all. He spends about $5,000, a month. Honestly, for me, it probably is around maybe like $500 a month. Not even that. And I'm lucky because I live with family, so obviously I haven't moved out yet, which is why again I was looking at a house too. That for me, the main thing was like I was doing my studies, and I thought, yeah, I don't want to like move out while I'm doing my studies, so I kind of got lucky, yeah, cheated the system, and then finished my studies. So now I'm finished. Now I'm planning on moving out. Transportation, I don't pay anywhere close to that. I only use the bus because from where I live, buses goes directly to town, 10 minutes, and then from there on anywhere else, I'm good. So I pay about $15 a week. Let's say I don't even use it all the time, but let's say 4 weeks. No, it's 4.5 weeks, but the point is, I pay about maybe $60 a month for transportation. Insurance, I have a car, but I'm not driving it, so I don't need a car insurance either. It's currently on statutory off-road notification. Food is my big expense. I probably spend about $400 on food alone. That's like my 99% of my expenses. Miscellaneous, nothing really. For me, nothing really. Again, gym. I've got a gym membership, but I haven't even paid for. I never paid for it. A friend of mine works at a gym, so I kind of get like a free gym membership. Utilities, Wi-Fi. I pay about $60. Credit cards. I wouldn't call credit. I mean, yeah, he's talking about the fees. I only have 3 credit cards, primarily. I have one that I pay, but I pay it yearly, so I don't really calculate. It's not nowhere near that. I mean, he's got like 50 credit cards. I've got like 4, but still. And phone, a $10 a month, if that. I don't even use $10 a month. Again, I'm frugal to the extreme.
2 eggs with ham and cheese and...
Difference is obviously he makes a lot more money than me. So obviously he has a lot more money to spend, a lot more expenses, granted.
Half a bagel with store-bought generic brand cream cheese is my favorite to do that. I refuse to spend money on 2 things. Number 1, I think everyone knows, is coffee. I think it's absolutely ridiculous, the markup of coffee at Starbucks and Coffee Bean and a lot of those places out there, so I just make it at home for 20 cents.
I love this guy. This is exactly what I'm talking about. He's
Of
not
course
an
he would
idiot.
love him.
He knows exactly what he's spending his money on. He's got it graphed out. He's very, very conscious of not wasting a single cent. Nothing wrong with that. That's very smart. Coffee is a big money waster. You get really hosed when you buy it
Also, designer
That's why you
clothing.
should drink
I
tea.
don't see the point in going and spending $700 on like Gucci shoes, so I end up saving about 99% of my income just because my income is so high and I keep my expenses so low, and most of the properties just kind of like pay for my living expenses, so anything else I make is really just seen as a bonus, and I save and invest it.
Now, the one thing I would disagree with him on is, buying really cheap clothes. I'd rather say, look, that's okay for jeans and a t-shirt maybe.
For suits, I massively disagree. That's the one. Suits, not so much clothing. You can probably tell I wear whatever I find. But like suits, business wear, has to be. But that's probably because I work in a business environment, So, yeah.
But every once in a while, buy a spectacular piece that's going to last you your lifetime. I like to buy great suits. I want to look good, but I don't waste money. All my suits are the same. I just have 25 of them. They last forever.
One way to do it.
All right, you got it?
Oh, can you watch the whole thing?
Oh, there's more? It's Graham as a realtor? It's the same thing?
It's like a 10-minute video.
Got it.
So I got into real estate basically as soon as I turned 18 years old because I had no other options. I didn't get into college. I had really bad grades in high school, and I saw getting my real estate license honestly as a way where I could just get 1 year of work experience and then reapplying to colleges. But it turned out to be a career I really loved. So I ended up living with my dad for the first few years. I moved out in my early 20s, and that was when I bought another property.
This guy's living proof you don't need secondary education to make it. I mean,
Yes.
everybody says you got to go to college. Look, I'm not against going to college, but it is no way a prerequisite for being successful. He's living proof.
I agree. Maybe it's because I feel a little bit slighted because of my education. Obviously, I did my degree and then I did my master's. Obviously, for my path in career, my career path, it is actually necessary that I, do these kind of things because I'm trying to become a solicitor. But yeah, I actually agree for the most part. I just think a lot of people don't get the right lessons from university or from schools or colleges or whatever, because they think, oh, we just need to focus on what we're studying, whereas they should be also focusing on networking with people, which I feel like a lot of people don't really take advantage of, and it could be a huge thing that they should be taking advantage of.
The first property I bought was when I was 21 years old. It was a short sale for $59,500 in San Bernardino. It was a foreclosure that was being sold by the bank. And at the time, I had been saving up as a real estate agent, basically using all of my commissions, just putting it in a savings account. I bought that property in cash. It actually appraised and was refinanced for like $260,000.
So he took advantage of dislocated market. 2007, 2008, some part of 2009, housing had been crushed. He took advantage of that. He bought it out of foreclosure from the bank. Obviously, it was a great trade. You can't do it all the time, but he was able to do it because he'd saved his money.
That green screen is throwing me off. It's throwing me off.
My investing strategy really hasn't changed since I was 21, and all of it has really just been about real estate. If anything, I'm just looking to buy more expensive real estate now that makes a little bit more money, but otherwise I've just kept doing the same thing over and over again.
Nothing wrong with doing what you're great at. That's clearly what he's doing here. Graham is focused on real estate, bringing in about $15,000 a month. But here's what you should be doing while this is happening, because real estate is just one sector of the economy.
Diversify.
And goes through cycles too. If you're investing, diversify out of real estate. Now, obviously, it's hard for him to do that because he wants to keep buying more houses. But it's very prudent sometimes to put something aside and just buy the overall market, an index or something, so you get diversification of your net worth. Because when real estate slows down, you have other investments that can continue to perform.
Wise words.
I had no idea that anyone would actually watch me, and I had no idea that I can actually make any money doing this, so I started it really just with the intention of having fun. I'd always wanted to do it, but I also felt like, who would want to watch me? And I felt like I didn't have the personality for it, and I just felt like, I should probably postpone it, but I just made a video one day, spur of the moment. It was a slow open house, and I just filmed with my iPhone, the selfie side, just talked about how I got started in real estate. And that was such a fun experience, and I remember that video getting like 9 or 10 views and just being like, oh my god, like 9 people have seen this video. So I started making more videos, and once I started doing about 2 videos a week, the growth really just exploded, it seemed like.
So he's really figured out how the algorithms work and how to produce content that people want to generally check in on every week. And when you have 1 million subs, you basically have a business. You're a broadcaster. That's what you're doing. So he really has figured that model out. Kid's a hustler.
I'd say at about 100K subs, you already have a business.
So right now, probably like 85% of my income is affiliated with YouTube in some way or another, and then the remaining 15% is through real estate sales or real estate investments.
That's kind of insane when you think about it.
So since I've always been self-employed, I've never had a formal like 401k, but I do have a SEP 401k. I've thrown some money in there at the end of the year just if it's left over, just as a hedge. But then as far as savings are concerned, I always like to keep about $20,000 to $30,000 in one of my checking accounts just to cover anything that could come up in the short term or to draw from if I have any expenses that come up. But other than that, all of my other money is spread out through several high-interest savings accounts.
Basically, you know you can rob him, and you know he'll have money in his little safe at home. It's why I would never do a video like that, like talk about my. To a degree, I mean, I'd love to do like informative finance videos, but like once people know, or once people have like a good idea of how much you make, friends can turn into enemies, and that's my worry.
Your income is 150 grand. You know from before that he told you 15,000 of that came from his rental income. This kid is a YouTuber. He's making the majority of his income running a broadcasting facility. That's the way you should look at it.
Yep.
That's a big number for YouTube. You can only do that if you have 1 million plus subs, and he does. That's extraordinary.
I kind of want to show you my coin collection, but I'm not going to. My grandparents, my grandfather specifically, he used to collect coins, like a super rare coins, and like every time for Christmas and whatnot, he would give me coins. So I've got like a large coin collection of like super rare. I just said that I wouldn't talk about rare things that I have at home. It's like basically saying I've got a gold bullion at home, so go ahead and rob me. That's basically what I'm saying right now, but no.
So coin collecting was actually something I really got into as a kid. For some reason, I found it really cool to collect like old American coins and paper money. And what I would do is go across the street from where I would work to a bank, and the bank teller knew me, and she knew me because I would go in and always ask for like any old money that she would have. Some lady came in the bank and exchanged $200 of all just like perfect condition $10 bills from 1934. So some of these are worth up to $200 depending on the condition. Others are worth more like $40 to $50. So I wouldn't really consider these an investment. Like I think it's probably way better for me to put my money in the stock market than it is for me to get like, you know, old money and just keep it for a long time. But this is just a fun hobby.
Coin collecting, old note collecting, you can make money doing that. I find it boring. I have some coins I've collected, including some gold coins. I bought them for the gold, but I'd much rather collect watches. You know what I like about watches? You can wear them.
Not a watch person.
Very much like it gives you a little jolt there. So I bought my Tesla in April of 2019. You get so many rebates back for it. The financing is so cheap. Everything that went on with the car, I calculated that it was going to cost me $78 a month out of pocket net in the first year, not counting the opportunity cost of then having all the money left over that I could then go and reinvest. So I figured like depreciation is going to be minimal. I'm going to get some really great tax write-offs from it. So it's going to almost be a free car. And I figured like, oh, you know, that's the video I'm going to make. Then that video ended up getting now almost 6 million views. I think the total cost of the car with everything, all out the door with taxes and like all of the options, everything was like 44 grand. So I ended up making money from getting the car.
I actually don't think a car is that necessary anymore, bottom line. But if you're going to own a car, own a Tesla. It's very efficient. He's figured out a way to take advantage of tax incentives to make it under $100 a month worth of cost. But so many ways to transport yourself these days. Cars also have insurance costs to them. You have to store them. I'm not a big fan of owning anything anymore when it comes to transportation, but he's done it well. Nothing wrong with that, and he enjoys driving it.
I'm not quite 100% sure whether I agree with that. I mean, again, I've got a car. I don't use it. It's basically been in my garden, backyard, for like the last 3 years. And I don't disagree with it fundamentally, but no, actually, I do disagree with it on a fundamental level, just because, hear me out, it is more efficient and can be much cheaper. Now, it depends on which place you live in. Again, for me, Manchester, everything is, yeah, you get from with the bus, you get everywhere. You go with the bus into town, and then from there, and you can go anywhere with the bus. But there are definitely other places that I've been, that I've lived in as well, where that's most certainly not the case. Where you need to have a car. Without a car, you're not gonna get anywhere. Because like after like 7 p.m. or maybe like before 9 a.m., you're not really gonna get public transport everywhere. So that really depends on the area, and I think getting a car can be relatively cheap too, depending on obviously your car, your insurance, and the engine size. So I think like everything put together, I kind of disagree with that on a fundamental level, just because, you know, there are plenty of places in this world where that is not possible to live without a car.
Well, I think we only lost like 2 or 3 pasta noodles, so I think we did pretty good.
So I have an amazing girlfriend, and her and I share a lot of the same values in terms of saving and spending money, and I find it fun that she is just as frugal as I am, so we can have a great time trying to figure out like where is the best happy hour spot and like how we could save a little bit more money doing this. And she's the one too that's also very encouraging of like, we don't have to go out tonight to happy hour sushi. She doesn't sound like that, by the way, but she encourages me to like, you know, we could go cook food at home, or instead of going out to see a movie, we could just pop something on Netflix.
Always great to have a partner that shares your economic values.
Yeah.
You really don't want somebody that spends their brains out. That's why he's so happy.
Yeah.
She's a wonderful gal, it looks like, but she also is in sync with the way he spends money. Very smart.
That's my
Okay,
weakness.
I know it sounds weird too, but I do end up rewarding myself every now and then at McDonald's from the dollar menu.
Not a chance in hell I'd eat that. Look, the guy's in shape, so maybe indulging once in a while. But
actually, I won't say anything because, again, food is my weakness. It might not be as obvious from the way the camera is angled, but food is my weakness.
I'm really uptight
And I'm
about
definitely
what I
not in
put
shape.
my body.
It's not something that happens too often, but it does become this thing where it's like, that's my treat.
Look, I'm not going to eat fast food, but I am going to buy a great bottle of wine.
Rum.
So in terms of net worth goals, I really don't have any, and I have no desire of becoming a billionaire. I don't even know what I would possibly do with that amount of money. I would like to hit 10 million. I feel like that would be just a decent number.
10 million is a good number. You know, they say it's almost impossible to make the first million. He's already done that. 5 million is next to impossible. 10 million gets easier, actually. Once you have 5 million, you're investing in other things. And
He wasn't talking about money, he was talking about subscribers, I think. That's my thing. I think he was talking about subscribers. I'm almost like 90% sure.
it helps you grow your net
Not money.
worth.
You don't need to be as extreme as I am. You don't need to skimp on every purchase at all. You don't need to work 12 hours a day. But you do need to think outside the box.
Yes, you do. You have to do all of that stuff. Don't listen to him. Listen to me. Yeah, you got to skimp. Yeah, you got to work 15 hours a day. That's what it takes. It's very competitive out there.
No one is more frugal than I am.
Well, let me rate Graham on a scale of 1 to 10. 1 being a horrible saver and 10 being just brilliant. I'm going to give him an 8.234. He's got a little bit more to go in terms of diversification. He wasn't at 10 because he didn't diversify enough, but he's really good at staying focused on saving and making money. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe to CNBC Make It. And while you're at it, why not subscribe to Ask Mr. Wonderful on YouTube? You'll find some interesting data there too.
I really enjoyed this video. I will say I really enjoyed this video. I enjoy these kind of videos, just like insights from obviously people, in this case Kevin O'Leary, who built up something, or who actually managed to create something. Because I feel like everyone always, that's kind of my issue. Like everyone always says, oh yeah, I'm gonna make $1 million, I'm gonna make $1 billion. I mean, it's always been my attitude. But people don't. They lack the creativity, either the creativity, the hard work, the true hard work, or the desire to get somewhere. So I think it's always great to see videos like this. Not to be like fully inspirational or anything, but just to like see kind of like their thoughts on matters, which is always very interesting and fascinating to me. Again, let me know if you want to see more of these finance videos. I did mention that, again, I've done history on the channel, I've done epic rap battles, and we're doing kind of finance. I kind of want to like diversify myself. But yeah, we'll be seeing what's gonna happen next video. I don't know. Let me know what you want me to watch next, and I'll see you on the next one, everyone. Until then, have a nice day, peace out, and